Hello, my cosmic kittens. This is Katya, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I go in depth about all the things that I cover on my Instagram regarding astrology. This will be a video that is connected to everything that's happening this week. Plus, it will have a forecast for your individual sign at the end of the video, so please stay tuned. And before we begin, I would like you to help me out a little bit and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me improve the algorithms of YouTube and create more content for you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And first on our agenda is obviously the solar eclipse in Aries, which coincides with the new moon in Aries. And for your information, just a little bit of astronomy here, eclipses always come hand in hand with the full moon and new moon cycle. We have a lunar eclipse during a full moon and a solar eclipse during a new moon. That's just the way astronomy works. And what's so special about this particular eclipse? It is the last eclipse on the Aries Libra axis that started in April 2023. So eclipses come in series for about 18 months. We have the nodes of destiny in two signs, and they switch places as we go. So we have our last eclipse in Aries, and this marks the end of a series. I'm going to put the dates of all the eclipses that happen in this series right here on the screen. And in the tone of Aries, this eclipse is telling us to go. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac cycle. It is a sign that is telling us to go, that we're starting a new chapter. We started a new astrological year, and this is the time for us to leave behind a very big chapter. I think the irony of this eclipse is that we're finishing a cycle, but starting something new, because Aries is a sign that makes us move forward. It's a sign that starts the zodiac cycle. It's a sign that starts the solar year, and we are urged to leave something behind in order to start something new. Are you ready to cut that toxic relationship, to be open to new and healthy love? Are you ready to say goodbye to your old self, to embrace the new you? Are you ready for good changes? But to have those good changes, something needs to die inside of you. So this is an interesting time because on one hand, we have a new moon and it's a time for something new. At the same time, we're finishing an eclipse series and we're letting go of things. I think like with everything in life, you have to make space for new things, and for that you need to let go of something. Yesterday I was doing a tarot reading on my Instagram, and one of the cards we pulled was the Four of Pentacles, and it was reversed. So we thought about how important it is sometimes to let go of something that you think is very dear to you, to make things for new and better things. And I think this eclipse series is asking us to finish something in order to make space for new beginnings. That's the mood I'm feeling right now. The other connection to the past we have with this eclipse is that right before it, Venus retrograde is moving back into the sign of Pisces, asking us to really think about some nostalgic things that we are just unable to let go, and about connections that just feel so close to our hearts and so painful to release. Venus in Pisces happened also during January this year, so people from January might be resurfacing in your life. Topics of love, attraction, maybe some material things that were important for you in January might also come back. And this is your ultimate test. This is your ultimate test to try to let these things go and leave them in the past. If you haven't done so in January, now is your final call. We are being urged to really shed a lot of emotional attachment we have to people, to illusions we have in our mind, to things, because it's Pisces. Pisces is a lot about illusion and delusion. And on top of that, we also have Mercury retrograding into the sign of Pisces together with Venus. So it's a double banger, guys. We are on from all sides being called to shed the illusions, because Aries is a no bullshit sign, right? And Pisces is this dreamy, a little bit cesspool vibes, like a little bit like stuck in your own little swamp of dreams and illusions and not really willing to face the outside world. No, Aries is pulling us out of that swamp and telling us to go and to find new chapters, new beginnings. So, in order for us to start something new, we need to let something go. And this is going to be the topic of this weekend. I would advise you treat this solar eclipse on Saturday as the start of a new year. Obviously, we already had the spring equinox, we already started the new year, but I think this eclipse is a way to say goodbye to your old self, the self you've been holding on to since April 2023, and reinvent yourself. Who do you want to be surrounded with? Where do you want to be? How do you want to spend your time? What do you want to spend your money on? All these questions ask yourself and try to spend your Saturday in a mindful way where you embody the things that you want to receive moving on to this new cycle. This new cycle that's already started. We talked about it in the last video. You can watch it to refresh your memory. But this time is about manifesting your new life by saying no to things that maybe made sense for you in the past. I think what's especially symbolic about this whole shedding your past and your illusions is that also Mercury is going to be conjunct Neptune, which is also the planet of religion, illusion, delusion, in the sign of Pisces for the last time before Neptune moves into Aries. It's like the last hurrah. You know, it's like that time when you come to a party and you realize you have nothing more in common with these people and you've really moved on and you're like, yeah, it's time for me to go. It's always wise to know when to leave the party. And I think this symbolism of like leaving the party where you don't feel the vibes anymore is the kind of symbolic analogy that will follow us throughout this weekend. You're going to be surrounded by people thinking, are these really my people, or am I in the wrong in the right place? So maybe before you find yourself in that situation, maybe it's better to try to make that conscious choice before and consciously select the people you're going to surround yourself with over the course of this weekend, because otherwise you might feel trapped in your past. I think the overall topic of disappointments and like contempt with certain people or with certain situations or your job can come up very strongly this weekend. And I think this is the right time to ask yourself, have I outgrown these people or this situation? Am I really choosing what's going to propel me forward, or am I stagnating somewhere in that Pisces era of myself? Guys, we need to move forward. I told before that the beginning of the year was very slow, but now is not the time to be slow anymore. Now is the time to move forward. We are officially starting a new chapter. This eclipse, even if you want to or not, is going to propel you to new beginnings. And like I said before, if you're not going to do it yourself, the eclipse is going to do it for you. So maybe, just maybe, do your due diligence and choose these things for yourself before the universe makes a choice for you. Now let's move on to individual forecasts for every sign. And before I begin, I advise you to watch this both for your sun sign and your rising sign. I will explain a bit so you understand why this is important, because we are talking about the placements of this eclipse in your astrological chart. If you've ever seen a chart, it's a circle and it starts with your rising sign, and then we have houses that represent individual areas of your life corresponding to certain areas of your life where this eclipse shines the light on. So in this situation, I would say it's wiser to see it for your rising sign, because it will represent more accurately where in your life changes need to be made and where in your life this eclipse is creating the most impact. So first up is Aries. Guys, you had eclipses in your sign for the last 18 months. You guys been through a lot. This has been a life-changing time for you that mostly focuses on your identity. It focuses on who you are, what you represent, what you stand for. And this season of your life, this reinventing season of your life, is coming to a close. This is your last chance to make due diligence and ask yourself, how am I a changed person now? What in me as a person, in my looks, in my attitude has changed? And how am I bringing this into the new version of reality that I'm creating right now? This is a lot about your personal identity, about how you feel in your own skin, about your body, about your physique. Focus on your body, be present for yourself, appreciate all the changes that have happened to you in these last 18 months, and close this chapter on a high note. You have learned a lot during this eclipse cycle, and now it's time to step into your autonomy, feel your freedom, and be unapologetically yourself. Taurus, now it's time for you. This eclipse cycle that lasted 18 months has been a lot about your spiritual journey, about healing, and frankly, about being alone. This is your last opportunity to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what have I learned during this time in terms of my spirituality? How have I become a bigger person? What are some good takeaways I can take from this, but also prepare for a more social and more exciting time in your life, because the last 18 months have mostly been about you trying to recalibrate your soul to a new frequency. I don't know if you've started meditating or you just spent a lot of time secluded working on things in silence, but this is your last time to enjoy this before you're going to step outside of your shadow. And the last thing, Taurus, you don't have to do everything alone. The universe has your back, and very soon you're going to see it. Geminis, for you, this eclipse cycle was all about your friend groups, your social circles, and people who you choose to surround yourself with. You've been through a lot of groups of people, and I think now you're finally finding your feet as to who do you want to call your friends. There will be a lot of disillusionment happening for you this weekend with Venus conjunct Neptune, with Mercury moving into Pisces. I feel like you might be dragged into your old habits. Stay true to yourself, because I think in these last 18 months you've learned a lot about who you are and how you interact with other people. Who do you want to call your tribe? I think this is the last time for you to really consciously choose your surrounding and make positive improvements, because your vibe creates your tribe. And the opposite way around, your tribe influences your vibe, right? So, Geminis, please be mindful of who you call your friends and solidify these thoughts and these learnings that you had in the last year and a half, and try to make a positive change. Cancers, this eclipse cycle was a lot about career, and you are at this turning point when you have to ask yourself, what do I truly want to do? What am I destined to do? And what are my key talents? It is time to stop living in this illusion of whatever you thought was best for you or what other people thought was best for you, and choose the path that you're destined to fulfill. I think it's a lot about your talents. It's a lot about being shy to express your talents. And it's really about finding that thing that sparks a fire in you and make it happen for yourself. I know that Cancer tends to be very shy and tend to be people pleasing when it comes to choosing even careers. So think about this a lot this weekend. Are you choosing you when it comes to your work? And are you really letting your talents shine? Now is the time. This Aries season is going to be your wake up call to start your dream career. Leos, are you ready to ascend? This eclipse cycle for you was a lot about learning, education, traveling, and you have come to that point where you need to ask yourself, am I going to continue with this? Are you currently, I don't know, doing a master's degree that's not speaking to you? Are you thinking of starting a new educational process or maybe moving to another country and you're still hesitant? This weekend will make or break it for you. You're going to come to some conclusions that will really solidify your next steps. I think it's a lot about your belief systems and a lot about what you would like to learn, what you'd like to study, how do you like to evolve your brain. Think about, are your travel plans really valid? Are you traveling to the right places? Are you stuck in a place and not traveling at all? This is going to be a great time for you to reevaluate your travel and learning plans, and the eclipse will help you understand where are you destined to go. Virgos, has this eclipse cycle these last 18 months been a lot about trust issues with people in love? Are you ready to trust again? Are you ready to open your hearts and let others in? Or are you still in that place where you don't want people to approach you and get close to you? It's a lot about intimacy. It's a lot about being sexual, being open, being daring. This eclipse is asking you, are you willing to take the risk again? Are you willing to open your heart and trust other people and be open to relationships, be open to intimacy, be open to having other people in your life on a more constant level, not just like shallow connections and not like testing them out, but really just diving into new experiences. Over this weekend, you're going to have some things happen to you that will really make you understand that you need to open up. You need to open your heart and let others in. You need to be brave and accept that, yes, love sometimes comes with pain, but it's all very, very worth it, dear Virgo. Libras, I hope this eclipse closes this chapter in your life where you choose relationships that don't choose you, where you stop being a people pleaser, and when you create safe and strong boundaries for yourself when it comes to partnerships. This eclipse cycle in the last 18 months has been a lot about who you choose to be next to you as your partner. Do you choose healthy people? Do you choose people that really value your boundaries? Do you choose people who do the best for you? It's been your eclipse cycle, the eclipse cycle in Aries Libra axis. So it's been a lot about redefining how you feel yourself in relationships. What does it matter to you to be loved? And not just about the other person. Libras, please go into this weekend knowing that you're the best thing that happened to this planet. You are ending this eclipse cycle. You have been through it all these 18 months. And now it's the time to choose you, and the right partnership will come. Trust me. Scorpios, this eclipse series really focused on your habits and routines. And in our world, structure equals freedom. Have you been choosing a healthy diet, a good workout plan? Have you been really structuring your day to day, or were you just in this like limbo? I think this weekend is a great test for you on where you choose to be healthy, where you choose to be organized, responsible, and not just let the universe take you on the sporadic whirlwinds of events that happen when we go out, for example. I think this weekend is for you to have an early morning, a healthy breakfast, a little workout, and to really have a routine that satisfies you, because it's not always chaos that brings us joy. Sometimes it's the routine. Sagittarius, this eclipse cycle was all about your creativity, your passion for life, your spark, and we need to finish it off on a high note. What have you been working on in these last 18 months that have skyrocketed your like self-esteem and creativity? What have you been doing that really feeds your soul and really makes you wake up in the morning? You need to see what that was and give it a big thank you, because this is something that has transformed your life in these last 18 months, and you cannot let it go. You need to keep the spark that you created, and you need to keep working on it. Whatever it is that gives you inspiration, I suggest you do it over this weekend, dear Sagittarius. Capricorn, this eclipse cycle was about home, vulnerability, emotional stability, a lot about your family, the place you call home, and just in general about your sense of security. I suggest that this weekend you really like call your parents, you call your relatives, you call the people that you call your chosen family, and you say thank you to them. You say thank you for these last 18 months where they somehow supported you, or maybe when they like made you realize some things. It's not always the positive things. Sometimes you need to have these wake up calls from your close ones that really like put you in a place of discomfort to find yourself again. So, whatever it is, even if it's just being in your home and buying a new house plants, this weekend is for you to really reconnect with your sense of home and the place you call home. Aquarius says, I feel like the last 18 months, the world has been speaking to you with very bad signal. I think you've been miscommunicating a lot, or you feel misunderstood. Now is the time to find your voice again. You've been through this process of not really understanding what you stand for or where you want to go, but now is final chapter. You've been really like trying to reassess your belief systems and how you want to communicate with this world. Maybe social media is partly at play here, but I think by this weekend it's really important that you close any loose ends. If there's something unspoken that you've left with someone, or there's some sort of argument that you started that hasn't been resolved, this is the weekend for it to finish, because otherwise, like we said, the universe is going to finish for you, and I'm not sure if you're gonna like it. Pisces, these last 18 months have been a lot about money, material wealth, and how you distribute your material wealth. Please, I would like you to spend some money on yourself for once, and to really have this belief that money will come. I feel like in the last 18 months, you've been through a lot of financial turmoil, and maybe I've lost some confidence when it comes to money. Please, don't worry. Better times are coming. You are finally finishing this 18-month chapter, and things are going to be shining brighter for you. But for now, I would like you to really be happy with what you have, really appreciate the things that you worked hard to receive, and maybe, just maybe, spend some money on yourself for once, not on other people. Well, there you have it, guys. We're reaching the end of this eclipse cycle. We're starting a brand new cycle. We're having so many loose ends being tied. We have so much going on in the skies. Next month is going to be even crazier. So stay tuned. I'm going to release a new video soon that will have to do with everything that's going on in April. And for now, I thank you a lot for listening, and stay tuned for more.